All right, let's go ahead and break down the Carolina Panthers Dallas Cowboys game. I'll go first on this one. You got two teams playing really well. You got Carolina with the number one defense in the league as far as yards allowed per game at just over 190, so at 191 a game. They are at number two in points allowed. They've only allowed 30 points in 3 games, so 10 a game. And they have 14 sacks in 3 games. So obviously this seems like a perfect matchup for Carolina going against that banged up Dallas offensive line. I know you're going to talk about that a little bit. But on the flip side, Dallas has a pretty good defense right now themselves. They're number one in turnover differential, +5. Their offense, they're averaging 30 points a game. So it's going to be a much more high-powered offense than what Carolina has faced in their first 3 games. Granted, they held New Orleans down pretty well, but I don't think that anybody would put New Orleans offense on the same level as Dallas right now with the way that Dak's been playing. So, Dak's got I think 6 touchdowns, a couple interceptions, but 6 touchdowns, 110 passer rating, which puts him, I believe, the top 5, if not top 3 in the league. So, he's doing his thing. Zeke looked pretty good last week. He looked like he was getting ready to eat again. So if they can get that running game going and Dak keeps playing the way he's going, I think Dallas comes out on top in this game. I think both defenses make plays, but I think that Dallas keeps the trend up of creating turnovers, and that's ultimately what is the difference. And I think Dallas comes out ahead 24-17 over Carolina on Sunday.
I mean, I could definitely see it. Cowboys are playing good, but I'm going to go back to those rankings you kind of started with. And Carolina is top 3 in almost every single defensive statistical category there is. And they're playing lights out. Starts in the trenches, like you mentioned, 14 sacks. They're going up against a banged up Cowboys offensive line, guard, tackle. In fact, their guard's out, not even for injury, just for suspension, missing drug tests and whatnot, knucklehead. Anyways, I think that they're going to stop the run game. They're going to have a good game against Zeke. They're going to stop the run game. It's going to force Dak to throw the ball. I mean, he's used to throwing a lot of passes, but Carolina's defense is really good. I do understand that Dallas is an upgrade over the teams that Carolina has played. So that's actually what's got me really excited to see the Matt Rule effect on Sam Darnold, because this is the kind of game where you go, well, if Sam Darnold can keep playing like he's been playing, be efficient, and I hate to say this about quarterbacks, but manage the game, get the ball in his running back's hands, just make smart plays, which is going to be tough to do against this swarming Cowboys defense. Then I do believe Carolina is going to win the game. And I think that Sam Darnold will manage the game efficiently. I do believe Matt Rule has had a tremendous impact on him. He's got some great receivers. He's got good running back group, minus McCaffrey. Hubbard did fill in nicely. So I think they still have some weapons. I think they have the weapons on offense. And I think that everyone's going to see that Darnold is the real deal this year. He's a lot better than what people were seeing in New York. I think that's something you mentioned.
Interesting. That's very interesting that you say that. Yeah, I could definitely see it going your way too. Again, I'm going with Dallas just because the one game they did lose, they could have very easily won against Tampa Bay. Obviously, they could have lost that second game when Mike McCarthy let all the time run out and they had to kick a 56-yard field goal. But I'm just going to go with Dallas just based off what I've seen so far, the eye test. I think that their offense is just rolling pretty well right now. Again, I wouldn't be surprised if Carolina, did win. And I'll tell you this, if Carolina beats the Dallas Cowboys tomorrow, I will put the Carolina Panthers up there. I would say top 5 or 6 in the NFL right now. And I mentioned it in one of my shorts earlier this week about Carolina and that defense. I think it was the Pretender or Contender. we've seen it before where defenses carry teams, into the playoffs, and then a quarterback gets hot, and you never know what could happen. I'm not saying Carolina's going to win the Super Bowl or anything like that, but I could definitely see their defense carrying them, possibly to the division championship right now, because they have the lead over Tampa Bay. They haven't played them yet, but the lead's the lead. So as long as they stay ahead of them, then I don't see why they couldn't. And I agree with you. Sam Darnold has probably surprised a lot of people. I anticipated if he had some, better structure around him, that he would play better. I'm still waiting for him to probably take that next step, which is what he needs to do to become an elite quarterback or a top tier quarterback. But he's playing pretty well and very efficient. So, yeah, I could definitely see Carolina winning, but I'm going to stick with Dallas mainly because I picked them in my parlay.
Well, like I say, I'm going Panthers 28-25 here. You're really close game. It's going to be one in the trenches. And I see Dak getting sacked 5 times, fumble or 2. It's going to be a really, really nasty game in the trenches. Going to be a lot of points, though. Probably a lot of garbage time points for Dallas.
Yeah, I could see a few sacks happening, especially. That's one thing that Philly did pretty well the other night on Monday night. And that's another thing as well. We got to, don't forget, Carolina's got a long layoff and Dallas has had a short week. So we'll see how that kind of plays out. But Philly did get pressure on Dak. That's how they got that touchdown early in the game. So if Carolina can get pressure on them, I could definitely see them winning the game. But I'm going to stick with my pick.
I feel it. I also note this. Carolina is the only team in the NFL that has not trailed in a single game.
Based off that good defense.
That's right.
All right, well, I'm looking forward to this one as much as I hate to say it about a Cowboys game, but I'm looking forward to watching.
It'll be a really good one. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it too. It's going to be one of the best games of the week, I think.
I think so. All right, that's our take. We could be wrong, but we'll find out.
Yep.